Good evening everybody, Car Biker here. Taking the Honda out for a spin tonight. It's my first ride in August. I don't know what the date is, and I'm sure you don't care. But it's a sunny day, it's hot as anything. Graham's got his monkey bike out, so we're going for a nice slow ride. It doesn't go that quick. I beg to differ, Graham, I beg to differ. I'm sure I've seen 65 on it. We're off for a nice little ride for a cup of tea and a bit of plotting, and it's lovely to be out on the bike. We have had the worst summer so far I've known. I felt like the rain god treatment was back. I bought this bike, I picked it up on the 1st of July and it rained. I went out on it on that day and it rained, and I thought that's not a good omen. Anyway, the following day it rained. And then the following day after that, well, you get the pattern. And this is the first day, and I think we're about August the 5th, I think. Let me think. Must be the 7th actually, because it's my father's birthday in 2 days. So it's August the 7th, and this is the first day since I bought this bike that it hasn't rained. It hasn't stopped me riding it, as you've probably seen on a couple of videos. But you know, I'm getting to the point now where, unless I've got something I need to do, I'm not fussed about going out in rain. I'll if there's something to do, there's something to do, isn't there? Yeah, if you've got to be somewhere or something. But if I was just thinking I'll go for a little ride today and it's raining when I'm about to set off, I've kind of got out of the habit of doing it. I'll ride in the rain if it rains while I'm out, but I think it's kind of the joy of just going for a ride in the rain has really left me now. I think part of it is that my dehumidifier in the garage broke, and I like to have the I don't like to put the bikes away wet, but there's not a lot you can do when it's actually raining, and there's not enough room in the garage at the minute for me to kind of dry them off properly. So maybe that's it. Maybe once I've got my garage sorted. Project Batcave 2 is underway at the minute, complete reorganisation, so I can get the two bikes side by side in the garage, which means moving all of my cupboards and shelving and all the stuff attached to the walls, getting that all moved around. See what the river looks like. Is it high? Actually it is, for summer that's quite high indeed. We've had some flooding just down the road from us, a bit of flash flooding. Luckily we've not been affected by it. Managed to dodge that bullet again. But yeah, some of the villages around here have had a bit of flooding. It's been on the news. And the place we're going to now, Hornsea, the other day, they were actually advising you not to go. And if you did go, not to go within a couple of streets worth of roads from the coast, because it's coastal, and that was because of the to go with the rain. We've had a lot of wind as well, quite a bit of storms, and it's been lashing at the seafront, and the sea's been coming over and at threat of flooding the town. I think I've managed to defeat the on-call problem. I am on call today. Actually today we're not going that far away, so if I get called out, as I've said in the past, I have to be back home within 30 minutes, so I have to be able to connect up and start dealing with the problem within 30 minutes. And then the big problem with that, of course, is that means stopping riding every so often to make sure that I haven't been called. But I think I've defeated it two ways. One is not a thing I'm doing tonight, because I'm going to be quite close, so I didn't bother. But one thing is, I can bring the laptop with me now and connect it up through a phone, so I can actually dial up. It's not really dial up, is it? 4G or whatever the technology is, but that means I can actually do a call while I'm out and about nowadays, which is quite nice. So I can potentially do a few longer trips while still being on call, which is handy, because the only other person who does on call is the chap I've said about, who has just done his CBT and is going to go off and do his test. And if I go for a ride with him, one of us has got to be able to dial up and connect up and do the call. And the other thing to defeat is that problem of checking whether you've actually had a call, and I've defeated that now with a new little watch gizmo. I've got a, it's not an Apple watch or anything as fancy schmancy as that. It's a £90 Amazfit, some kind of Chinese thing, but it's neat. When my phone rings, and it's paired up with my personal phone, so when my phone rings, my watch buzzes, so I can feel it. And the work phone is an iPhone, and it has call forwarding, so I can forward all of the support calls to my own phone, and then I can ride knowing that if I do get called, my wrist will buzz. Airfield, eh? Wonder what airfield it is. We're not far away from Leconfield, which used to be, well, I think still is RAF, but they don't fly anything out of there anymore, I don't think. They might refuel helicopters there. We occasionally see helicopters looking like they're landing in that area. The big ones that are going off to the coast to pick people off cliffs and things. Not too long ago I saw one of those. Happened to be taking a walk at Flamborough looking for puffins, and saw the helicopter coming in at the coast and stopping to hover, and it was rescuing somebody that I think they'd fallen off one of the cliffs. Of course, because I'm 50 going on 6, I got all excited and ran across to the edge of the cliff to take video. So maybe I'll stick a clip of the helicopter in at this point. Ooh, where are we going now? Public weighbridge. We're off to weigh the bikes. I honestly don't think I've ever been this way before. One thing for coming out for a ride with Graham, you always find new roads. It's my two ways of finding new roads. One is following Graham, the other is getting lost, or as I call it, exploring. Graham's definitely surprised me with these roads. Saying earlier about expecting them to be bumpy ones, but this is Kawasaki territory. Every so often there's a bit of gravel on the road, which is a bit irritating, but they're really smooth roads. Either that or the Honda's just doing a remarkably good job of soaking them up. But compared to some of the back roads around here where it's pothole city, I might have to come back here on the Z. So look at Graham on his monkey.
I absolutely love riding it.
Sorry?
I can't stop giggling when I ride.
I was the same, I just couldn't stop laughing. Great fun. Oh, we're off into the S's now. See, this road is starting to go. Let's start to see where bits of the top surface have come away. Little bits of gravel here and there, and some potholes starting. There's one. It might have actually done a little bit of repair on some of them. Starting to feel that the bumps are there, but this bike just sucks them up. If you've got one of these and it's got something there, is that square? What goes there? It's like one of them blanks in a car, isn't it? It's a switch you haven't got. I'm intrigued to know what it should be. around it's got quite a nice kind of, oh, it's plastic, but it's like a carbon fibre type pattern, and then just a plain square in the middle. No idea what it's supposed to be. I may have to print something, 3D print something to stick in the hole. Maybe my stupid face or something. Just coming out of Skipsea now, home of lots and lots of caravans. I don't know if people come here for holidays. I assume they must. There's like a caravan park there, lots of statics. It's also home of a castle that's about the most underwhelming castle I've been to see. I may make a video about it just for the fun of it, and get the drone up around it. But if I manage to make it an exciting video and fascinating drone footage, then I'll know that I've finally sussed droning, because there's actually not a brick left. Not a piece of stone left. There's basically just the earthworks that the castle was built on, and everything else has gone. Here we are at Hornsea. So we're nearing the end of our journey now. This is the town. Well, not this bit, obviously. This is, well, I guess this is where the town's being expanded to, looking at this. The Folly. I don't know if I would call a housing development the Folly. There are a lot of follies around here. There's one I've brought you to in Hornsea called Bettison's Folly that I did a video about. But follies tend to be kind of useless buildings, or pointless now, certainly. You would have thought houses didn't really fall into that category. Maybe people don't know what follies are anymore. Oh well, here we are, just coming up to the seafront now, just over this little hill. I've enjoyed that little ride, so I shall wrap it up with a picture of the sea. We'll get the sea in before I wrap it up, otherwise you can't go to the seaside and not see the sea, can you? That's entirely wrong. So I'll say thank you for watching, everyone. Ride safe, and I'll talk to you all again soon.